Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with Morsels of a Thought number 1483. In Morsels of a Thought, we try to give you morsels of a thought of wisdom, and knowing what to do is a part of wisdom. Actually, going to do it is called virtue. I hope to impart a little bit of something good today. Hope to inspire you to have a great day. And if you are entertained, or if you feel like you get, if we educate you at all, or if you just like us, and also hit the subscribe button when you go onto the YouTube platform to watch me, and that way we can raise our viewership. I would like to do that very much. I want to bring the world some virtue. Today we're in Course 5, Create Respectful Marriages and Partnerships in The Rules Handbook by Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider. The Rules Handbook, a guide to creating loving and lasting relationships. Now, this is the book that you should go to for relationships, guys. This is the book that tells you how you can be busy, have your own life. Don't create a universe around somebody else, but you are friendly to the universe and you're approachable. And when you are married, you want to be easy to be with. Here, this is the week on marriage. We just went through the little parts about um, how it's not so easy, where you played hard to get him, and now you have to stay easy to be with, which is pretty hard because um, it's really worth it. It's really worth keeping your husband. Stop wishing. I wish it wasn't this way. I don't like it, but how do I do it? Stop wishing. Rules girls are realists who love results. We don't create a fantasy world where anything goes and sitting around wishing works. It just doesn't. Day 283 was happy husband, happy life. And um, when a husband is happy, he stays. When he's unhappy, he leaves or is just miserable to be with. An empowered woman puts her husband first. And this is different from corporate America. In corporate America, you can kill the guy, murder, in your business. But in marriage, you want to stay together and you want him to feel like you're pumping him up. He's a man. Look at that. What do you know? Number 284 was discovering diplomacy. Newly married women are happy until they discover their husbands are secret hoarders or something. I know of people who have had to split up because of something like that. That can be a really hard thing. But this tells you how that you have to think about. Even Marie Kondo wisely said that her home is messy and she is okay with that because spending time with her husband and 3 children is more important than having a perfectly tidy home. Think about that when you want to scream at your husband for leaving dirty socks on the floor and stacks of papers in the garage. Newspapers. On call. Being married is like being a doctor on call. Your life is not your own. You're planned to put your feet up on the couch, eat popcorn in pajamas, and I think there's something going on over there. Is there something going on that I didn't realize was going on? I'm gonna check on it and see. I don't see anything. Okay. He will do something equally kind in return if you are kind to him. Kindness in marriage is like money in the bank. I hear the sound again. Ah, now I don't hear it. I hope you heard it. I mean, I hope you didn't hear it. Intimacy. And in intimacy, I will read this part again because this was very, very important. Men and women can have very different needs when it comes to intimacy. The more masculine partner usually determines your intimate life. Whether they want it every night or are not that interested Your relationship will grow deeper and more connected if you choose to make time for intimacy. So don't say, I'm not in the mood. Figure out when you will be. That's what we're not saying to grin and bear it, but understand that intimacy is an important part of marriage and that physical connection often leads to emotional connection. So it's a win win. Hire yourself. Tell yourself you're lucky to have a husband who is attracted to you and wants to be with you. Discuss when, especially if you work and have children, but try not to say a hard no every time. Maybe you're tired, or maybe you're just being lazy or selfish, lower self. Sometimes even a quickie is still better than nothing. Lack of intimacy can lead to feeling like roommates instead of lovers. Conversely, don't force it on your husband if he's not interested. Some women assume all men want intimacy all the time. Not true. Some men have lower drives or are more into work or sports. If you are more into intimacy than your husband, it's fine to initiate in a feminine way as long as you don't get angry if he turns you down. We talked about those feminine ways last time, and I heard a story yesterday about a little girl who was supposed to bring something of work that they always do from their parents' home. And she was about maybe, elementary school, primary school age. And so she goes to her mom and says, Mommy, I need something to show to class where you do this all the time. And Mommy is a computer scientist. So, so Mommy brings her a laptop or a tablet and says, I do this all the time. But the little girl sees a nurse's hat inside the closet. She says, What's this? The mother says, It's a nurse's hat. And why do you have a nurse's hat? Um, mommy plays, uh, mommy plays Let's Do This game the same way with daddy that you're playing in your class tomorrow. So the little girl is very happy to hear that. And the little girl brings the nurse's hat to class and goes to her teacher and says, My mommy does this to my daddy all the time. She's a computer scientist. Day 287, the rules partner. After the honeymoon stage, people often complain that their partners don't pay more attention to them. Rules wives have the opposite problem. They get too much attention. Rules partners want to do everything with them, from cooking and cleaning to going to doctor's appointments and watching TV shows and movies. These partners don't want a man cave or separate bedrooms and vacations. They're even happy to hang out with your dysfunctional family. You basically can't get rid of them. A rules partner will call to tell you he got an oil change and had pizza for lunch and basically include you in every detail of his life. I have a friend, I have an auntie and uncle who live that way. We do everything together, every appointment, every oil change, every errand. It's a love life. They've been married since, wow, how long have they been married? More than 50 years. More than 50 years. Sure. Actually, more than 60 years they've been married. They're in their 80s now. They got married young. Goodness gracious. Wow. They've been married more than 60 years. Think about that. That's a nice example. Apply the rules to reach your higher self. Achieve your higher self. When you feel hurt by your husband's insensitive sense of humor, it's natural to want to say something sarcastic back. In that moment, try to remember that the Greek definition of sarcasm is to tear the flesh. Don't say it. When you're not feeling fond of your husband, remind yourself that he married you and you never have to date again. Wow. Remember all that work? Oh my gosh. Harder than corporate jobs. Number two, no matter how upset you feel, don't say the D word, divorce, in an argument, as it may plant the seed for a future split. Say it enough and your husband will say it back. Number three, when your husband says something you When your husband says something you think is stupid or you don't agree with, don't say anything in the moment if you feel like you're going to fly off the handle. Two wrongs don't make a right. Practice silence. So, next week we will go into week 4. Marriage is a partnership. So be a team player. There have been many debates about who should lead in a marriage. This is your weekly pep talk. Ask yourself, is it about what is fair or what is effective? Every team has only one leader because it is more efficient and helpful. Each partner has their strengths and weaknesses. It's best to focus on the strengths before deciding who is more qualified to make the decision. This does not mean you don't have a voice or can't share what you prefer. It just means that you recognize the most effective way to make the decision is if you let him take the lead. Masculine energy partners prefer to be more direct and in charge, while feminine partners tend to be more nurturing. This isn't absolute. Whatever your situation, focus on being a valuable team player and more agreeable instead of argumentative and see how well it works. Of course, we advise our readers to pick their battles. Let him win things that are less important to you, like what restaurant you are to for New Year's Eve or where you are going on vacation, so you can negotiate harder for things like hiring a cleaning lady or donating to charity you love. This week, be more agreeable instead of argumentative and see how well it works. The more actions you take to create a harmonious partnership, the happier you both will be. Marriage is a partnership, so be a team player. Day 288. Write this down. Is your partner the primary decision maker? There are many books and theories about marriage, so we're going to make this really simple for you because if it's not simple, you will not remember it, much less do it. Your husband or partner may want to be the decision maker of your relationship. We know it sounds sexist and anti feminine, but it's the truth. Just like dating isn't 100% equal, the guy has to pursue you and propose, marriage isn't always either. So, if you both agree your husband or partner is the decision maker and you are his key supportive team member, even if you make the same amount of money or more, that's because romantic relationships are based on biology, not finance. There's a hierarchy that goes back to caveman days. If you act too bossy or overbearing, you will emasculate your husband and your marriage will suffer. So let him take the lead role as the decision maker. Now this is biology, not finance. I know that I know that sometimes they used to say that a woman would drive a man to an early grave. That's because the man was emasculated and he loved the woman enough to stay. He didn't want to leave her because he loved her. So her driving him to an early grave is a sign that he loved her very much and didn't want to go away, but he wanted to stay. So he died. Anyway, I'm sorry. Day 289 is appropriately named Not Kidding. Gosh, what did I say? Ay, ay, ay. Day 289, Not Kidding. You are probably thinking, you've got to be kidding, until and that we are asking you to be a Stepford wife. Don't worry, we're not. Stepford wives are robots without brains. You have a brain and a personality. You just have to be feminine, not masculine, by doing the rules for marriage. We are feminists and believe women can do whatever they want, except with men. We can run a business, climb the corporate ladder, train for a marathon, buy a condo, and even run for president of the Condo Board Association or president of the United States. But we have to defer to our husbands and not treat them like coworkers or girlfriends because it doesn't work. The majority of men like to feel like they are in control. They they like to feel that they're in control. Now, here's something that my friend showed me about her children. She said that if she wanted her child to wear a coat and the child was likely not to want to put it on, she would say, "So now, Lisa, would you like to wear the red coat or the blue coat?" And then that gives the child a little mental exercise to choose something. And the child believes that she's making a decision. Guess what? You can try that on your husband too. So, should we eat at that restaurant or that restaurant tonight because you don't feel like cooking? So he's like wondering, which restaurant is better for me? And meanwhile, he doesn't realize that you're saying, we're going out, we're not cooking tonight. This Rose Cantata, would you agree with me? How about you, John Clark? Sorry. This is all about how women keep the marriage glued together. This is it. This is it. Empowered Partner, Day 290. Before the 1970s, most women prided themselves on being great homemakers. It was a noble and respectable position in the family. Now, to feel worthy, women have to be the best worker, the best mother, the best yoga devotee, the best PTA member, the best Facebook friend, the best 5K runner, and the best fundraiser. Just yesterday, I was at my PT and everybody was getting certificates. Everybody was getting certificates. Everybody was getting certified for something. And I'm like, so where are the clients? If every client is getting a certificate. Okay, anyway, so the best PTA member, the best Facebook friend, the best 5K runner, and the best fundraiser. Those are a lot of roles to play and be the leader of. Take a deep breath and decide where and when to use your valuable energy. This is just like real estate, where they say the highest and best use of the property is, and sometimes it's to tear it down and build a 3-story condo building. So the highest and best use. And here you go, when you use your valuable energy. Choose your battles carefully and where to invest your time and energy. You might ask, why do I have to give up some of my power at home when my partner already married me? And in many cases, I know how to do things better. Marriage is a dance of the masculine and feminine. Let the masculine lead on the dance floor of marriage so you don't stumble over each other. It's the truth. Your your dancing performance is pretty much in actual dance for the woman, the the performance of the woman relies on whether the man can lead. You can have the man know how to lead you, and he will be able to let you do all your twirls and turns and tucks and dips and everything, and you'll be very sexy in them. You'll be very, very graceful, but he has to know how to lead. And in a marriage, you're going to teach him too. You're going to say things like that. The red or blue, the eggs or pancakes today, things like that. So that's one of the tools of the trade, and you want to be easy to be with. Now, it's very hard to be easy to be with, and you're getting this. I'm a rules buddy. I'm not a rules coach. I can tell you what the book says, but I can't teach you what the rules answers would be, except for as a rules buddy, because I'm not an expert. I am simply thinking along the lines of what the book says. Oops, the book says. It says put on lipstick, so I put on lipstick. It says put on makeup, so I put on makeup. It says be easy to be with when he pins you down for a date, and so I'm easy to be with. And if he takes me for granted, then I leave him alone. Next, I had a friend that went to a dance one time. Well, we went as a group, and he came back to me and he laughed so hard. And I said, "What are you laughing at?" He says, "Well, I went up to this one woman, and she must have been drunk or something because she looked me up and down with her eyes, and then she went, eh, and walked away." Eh. I thought that was the funniest thing too. I thought, I mean, from now on, whenever the rules authors have said, but in the original rules book, whenever they said next, you, you know, here I'm open to the page. Even if you're engaged or married, you still need the rules. Let me get a bookmark. Ideally, we do the rules from the minute we meet a man and until he says he loves us and proposes. But if you were not lucky enough to learn about the rules before reading this book, we suggest you do the best you can right now. Better to do the rules now than not at all. However, if you did not know about the rules until now, don't think you can totally erase the way you related to your fiance or husband from the beginning of your courtship. For example, if you initiated the relationship, called him up, asked him out, and so on, in order to make the relationship work, he'll always expect such things from you. He didn't worry about getting you to marry him. If he knew he had you, you told him so with your every word and gesture. So on some level, he may take you for granted. And chances are you still make things happen by initiating sex and or romantic dinners, asking him about his feelings for you, wishing he would spend less time in the office or with his friends and more time with you. You might even wonder from time to time if he's having an affair. Well, if you didn't do the rules at the beginning of your relationship, your husband might ignore you, talk to you rudely, or treat you badly. You might wonder, well, you might wonder things, but maybe we believe it's because you didn't do the rules. He never needed to treat you like his dream girl. If you do a rules relationship, he treats you like a precious jewel. This is where I'm going to stop. He treats you like a precious jewel. Anyway, so when I read this book, my point is that when it said next, I always went in my mind. So if you're married or if you're not married, sometimes you have to know, it can do it to an idea. So, in other words, I think you can do it to an idea too. Like um, if he says surfing or boating today, and you go, oh my God, I just introduced the sound to the marriages. Oh my gosh, what have I done? Okay, I'll talk to you later. And you have a great morning, great day, great afternoon, great evening. Okay, old Kinderhook. Bye bye.